Good evening. In the fast-paced world of digital stardom, few names have burned as bright or vanished as suddenly as Courtney Hadwin. We all remember the moment in 2018 when a trembling 13-year-old stepped onto the world's biggest stage and effectively broke the internet. It was the ultimate Cinderella story until the clock struck midnight and the glass slipper shattered. For years, the question wasn't just, where is she? But who was she really? Tonight, we're peeling back the layers of a career that was nearly dismantled by the very industry that discovered her. This isn't just a story about a singer. It's a report on a high-stakes survival mission in the shark-infested waters of the music business. But was the shy schoolgirl we met in 2018 actually a carefully crafted deception? Our investigation begins with the immediate backlash that followed her viral audition. While millions were inspired, a vocal group of critics began unearthing footage from the UK version of The Voice, where Courtney had already performed as a seasoned finalist. The professional plant, allegations spread like wildfire, threatening to derail her career before it even started. Industry insiders now reveal that the intense pressure to maintain a relatable image actually caused a massive rift between Courtney and her handlers. While the public accused her of faking her nerves, the truth was much more complex. She was a child caught between her natural, explosive talent and a production team that wanted to package her as a shocker. This friction created an environment of distrust that would follow her for years. Critics argued that the show's producers knew about her past, but suppressed it to maximize the surprise factor, leaving a young girl to take the heat for a narrative she didn't even write. This initial controversy was just the first brick in the wall she would eventually have to tear down. Even as she moved toward the finals, the shadow of being fake loomed over her, forcing her to work twice as hard to prove that The Voice, at least, was undeniable. This battle for her own reputation was her first taste of the industry's darker side, a world where the truth is often less valuable than a good headline. But as we looked deeper, we found that the controversy over her past was nothing compared to the legal battle brewing over her future. Behind the glitz of the Vegas residency and the standing ovations, Courtney was entering what insiders call a golden cage. After the cameras stopped rolling, she was ushered into the offices of Syco and Arista Records, signing a deal that promised the world but demanded her creative soul in return. Reporters at the time noted her sudden shift toward polished soul covers, a far cry from the gritty, raw energy that made her a household name. Sources close to the singer now suggest that her disappearance in the early 2020s wasn't a choice, but a strategic retreat. She found herself at odds with executives who wanted to turn her into a next Janis Joplin tribute act, effectively erasing her own identity. The legal documents from this era are tightly guarded, but rumors of a creative stalemate began to leak. Courtney reportedly refused to record an album of covers, leading to a standoff that kept her music off the shelves for years. It was a classic industry shelving, a tactic used to silence artists who won't play ball. While her fans waited for a debut that never came, Courtney was reportedly studying the fine print of her contract, looking for any possible exit. This period of silence was a calculated risk. By not releasing music, she was essentially starving the machine that wanted to control her. But the cost of this silence was high. She lost the momentum of her viral peak and faded from the mainstream conversation. Many believed her career was over, another casualty of the reality show curse. However, what looked like a failure was actually the beginning of a long-term play for total independence. She was waiting for the clock to run out on her obligations, preparing for a comeback that would shock the executives who thought they had her trapped. While the legal battles raged, a more personal crisis was unfolding, a story of burnout and the heavy toll of being a global commodity before you're even old enough to drive. In 2022, Courtney took the drastic step of scrubbing her social media entirely, an act that sparked frantic speculation about her well-being. Some feared she had offed her career permanently, while others worried about the mental health struggles that so often plague young stars. Our sources indicate that this wasn't a breakdown, but a necessary system reset. The transition from a viral sensation to a human being is a path littered with casualties, and Courtney was determined not to be another statistic. She retreated to her home in northern England, away from the Hollywood glare, to rediscover why she started singing in the first place. This era was marked by intense privacy, as she dealt with the accusations and rumors that naturally fill the void of a celebrity's absence. There were whispers of industry, blacklisting, and claims that she was difficult to work with, a common label used to discredit women who stand their ground. During this hiatus, Courtney reportedly focused on her education and her mental health, building a support system outside of the entertainment industry. It was a period of profound transformation, both physically and emotionally. The girl who once hid behind her hair was replaced by a woman who understood the power of her own no. This wasn't just a break, it was an incubation. She was stripping away the layers of expectations and the labels, literally and figuratively, preparing for a return that wouldn't rely on a television network's approval. The rock monster wasn't dead. She was just waiting for the right moment to roar on her own terms. When the silence finally broke in early 2026, the industry wasn't prepared for the new Courtney Hadwin, a sovereign artist who had successfully bypassed the gatekeepers. Her debut independent project, Miss Jagged, wasn't released with a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign. Instead, it dropped like a tactical strike. The sound was a radical departure, dark, experimental rock that leaned into her vocal maturity and a newfound aggression. Critics are calling it a masterclass in reinvention, noting that her voice has evolved from a teenage novelty into a sophisticated, dangerous weapon. She has ditched the vintage costumes for a jagged, modern aesthetic that reflects her journey through the industry's underbelly. The success of this 2026 launch has sent shockwaves through the major labels, as Courtney proved that a dedicated fanbase is more powerful than a corporate marketing budget. Her 2026 tour sold out in minutes, not because of a golden buzzer clip, but because of the raw, undeniable quality of her new material. She is no longer being compared to the greats of the 60s. She is being measured by her own standard. Reporters covering her opening night in London described an atmosphere of electric defiance. She didn't perform a single cover, a bold move that signaled the total death of her old persona. This was the moment she finally owned her narrative, turning the controversy of her past into the fuel for her future. The girl who was once accused of being a puppet is now the one pulling the strings, managing her own career and creative direction with a level of precision that has left her former handlers in the dust. This is the rebirth of a legend, and this time, it's permanent. But Courtney Hadwin's 2026 comeback is more than just a personal victory. It's a blueprint for the future of the entire music industry. Her decision to walk away from major label security to pursue a sovereign path has sparked a massive trend among Gen Z artists. We are seeing a great migration of talent moving toward independent platforms, where they can control their masters and their image without corporate interference. Courtney's story is being cited in music business schools as a case study in reclaiming the narrative. She demonstrated that in the age of direct-to-fan communication, the traditional middlemen are becoming obsolete. The accusations that she was a product of a reality show have been silenced by her longevity and her refusal to settle for a safe, commercial sound. This shift is also forcing networks like AGT to rethink their contracts, as more contestants are following Courtney's lead and demanding more creative freedom. The ripple effect of her rebellion can be felt across the charts, where independent artists are now competing and winning against the biggest names in the business. Courtney has become a symbol of a new era of artistic autonomy, proving that you don't have to sell your soul to have a career. Her journey has exposed the flaws in the viral fame machine and shown a better way forward for the next generation of performers. As we look at the landscape of 2026, it's clear that the rock monster didn't just survive the industry, she changed it. The power has shifted, and Courtney Hadwin is leading the charge into an unfiltered future. As we conclude our report, one thing is certain. The girl who was once too shy to speak has found a way to make the whole world listen. Courtney Hadwin's rise, fall, and subsequent rebirth in 2026 serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of true talent. She survived the hype cycle, the legal battles, and the public scrutiny to emerge as one of the most significant voices of her generation. Her story forces us to ask, how many other great talents are currently caged by the same system she escaped? As she moves forward into this new chapter, Courtney isn't just a singer anymore, she's a survivor. And in an industry that loves to use people up and throw them away, that might be her most impressive performance yet. For our investigative team, I'm your name, and this has been the story of the rise of Courtney Hadwin.